What is up, everybody? DanDanTheFireman here, and holy crap, you guys responded very well to these common beginner mistakes. And honestly, beginners make a lot of mistakes, and I talk a lot about, you know, what to do to prevent them. So let's actually talk about what some of them are. You might not know what to prevent if you don't know what they are. So we're gonna talk about 5 more common beginner mistakes and a few other things like that. And yeah, let's jump into that. Welcome to the channel. Here we talk about motorcycle safety, and we're training really to get you more confidence so that you can be a safer rider. So today we're going to be talking about this, but if you want to actually practice safe riding, practice different techniques, please check out the link in the description and get the DDFM training manual, where I was just at this parking lot and we were doing some fun training. So anyways, let's go and jump into it. Buying too much motorcycle. Now, I know. I talk about the motorcycle doesn't mean anything. Honestly, the motorcycle does not mean anything. I bought this bike, brand spanking new, never sat on a bike, didn't have an endorsement, never rode a motorcycle. It's 1200cc Harley Sportster from the dealership. Did I buy too much motorcycle? Yes. But was I smart enough not to ride to the motorcycle's ability right off their bat? Yes. So this is where I talk about when people buy too much motorcycle, and it can be an issue. If you buy too much motorcycle, your natural instinct is to ride within its ability and go crazy with it. You need to understand you're the beginner. The bike is the bike. The bike is nothing. The bike doesn't mean nothing. You're the beginner. You're the person that needs to get the training. So smaller is usually better. Smaller is basically that governor limiter on your car to where you can't go too fast. You're gonna have a better chance of not going crazy on a smaller bike. Now, you can get away with getting on a big bike like I did. You definitely can, and then you can grow into it. But if you really want to start off on a smaller bike, a 125, a 50cc, a 250, a 300, whatever it is, go ahead, go right ahead, because honestly, small bikes are fun. You're not going to accelerate super fast. The throttle is a little bit less, or it's very forgiving compared to this. And it's a usually smaller bike, as in terms of dimensions and weight, so it's gonna be a little bit easier to maneuver and all that stuff, especially with your limited skills. But once you start getting your skills up, the bike is gonna be less and less and less of a problem. And since you're getting a small bike, it's gonna be less and less and less of an issue, even quicker than a big bike. So right now, my big bike is not really an issue because my skill level has climbed so much over the years. Now, here's one thing that I see so many people do, and it's not good. Not doing a pre-ride check. Pre-ride checks are very important. Try to do them at least once a week if you ride every day, or at least a few times a week, you know, if you ride every day. And here's why. You never know if you ran over a nail while riding and commuting. So you got to check your tires. You got to check the tire pressure. You got to check the fluids. Check your belt chain or drivetrain, whatever it is. Usually with the drivetrain, you gotta check the fluid, you know, the oil, to make sure it's not super low. You might have to top it off. Tags, you know, I just replaced my license plate with my new one because it was expired. Check your lights too. You never know if your headlight's out or your taillights aren't working. You don't want to get pulled over because your taillights went out for some reason. You blew a bulb or whatever. And then now you gotta fix a ticket, and you got all these hassles of, oh man, I gotta, you know, show them that I fixed it and all this crap. And you don't want to deal with that, so just do a quick check. And you want to check for damaged wires and hoses. You never know. You never know if your brakes aren't working, or like I said, if your headlight's not working because you have a damaged wire. That can be very detrimental, and it can be dangerous to you, and it takes a quick second. I have a video where you can do it. I go over in detail, and honestly, that video is so short that you're going to be able to do it even shorter because you're doing it yourself. You're just doing a quick check. So check out that video. The link's in the description, and it's going to be the first comment in the video, and if that changes, then it's because the future's crazy. Oh man, ego. That is one of the biggest things, and this is something that should be actually number 1, but I wanted to talk about it, you know, around middle. But here's the thing: ego and pride. So ugly. They're just so ugly. Ego will convince you that you're ready for anything, which you're not. Now it can be good. It can be good. It'll get you out from the parking lot onto the street, you know, saying, hey, I could do this. That's good. But also understand that you're always learning. Always be learning. Okay? Always be learning. You know, have that beginner's mind. have that mind to where I need to understand this better, I need to do this better, and I need to practice this better so I can master this. You can practice bad habits 1,000 times a day and be 1,000 times better at very bad habits. Or you can practice very good habits, practice good techniques, practice good skills, and you'll be good at those. So practice doesn't make perfect, practice makes whatever you're doing better. And it could be bad. I'm gonna go ahead and park here. I gotta get something from Safeway. But that could be an issue for newer riders because they might be ready for the canyon. They might be ready for Mount Lemon over here or rush hour traffic, and you might not be ready and you'll panic and something bad will happen. So if that comes into issue where you feel like your ego tells you to come out to rush hour traffic and you come out to rush hour traffic and you realize you can't handle it, turn around. Who says you have to do it? Cancel whatever plans. You don't have to do anything, especially when it comes to safety. You don't have to do it. You can always pull the plug. That is something that we have in the fire service as a safety officer and safety-oriented fire service, to where every single person is responsible for themselves, and then every single person is responsible for speaking up if something's unsafe, and then changing it. A safety officer, that's his job. That's her job. They don't do anything in the firefighting scene. They don't do anything on the EMS scene. They are literally looking for traffic. They're looking for dangerous things that could hurt the crew, and you need to do that for yourself. And I think that's what's kept me safe all this time, is that if I feel like I'm in a situation where it's not safe, I take action and remedy that. So whether that means I'm in a blind spot or I'm out riding and I just don't feel good, I turn around and go home. I don't have to do that. I got a car. Thankfully, I have a car. I'm blessed that I have a car too, so where I can go home, get in the car, and drive the car. You know, I'll have a cage. I'll have seatbelts. I have airbags. You know, so you don't have to do it. And I know I kind of went on a little tangent here, but you know what, guys, ego has killed so many more riders than anything else. I mean, probably alcohol and drugs is up there, but ego is one of the things that I see cause a lot of issues, and it does humble myself when I go out and practice in a parking lot. So that is one way to really check yourself and humble yourself, is practice some of these things in a parking lot. And I have some stuff on the DDFM training manual if you want to check that out. All right, so let's go jump. Sorry, I got a little preachy there. My bad. So not keeping a clear mental picture of traffic. That's big. Sometimes you're zoning out, right? You're zoning out. Let's take, for instance, you're in your car, you're zoning out, and you're like, all of a sudden the person in front of you hits the brakes. You don't realize until the last second. You're like, you slam the brakes. You're like, what the heck, dude? What the heck? I do that. But if you do that on a car or on a motorcycle, that could be bad. It could be really bad. So having a clear mental picture of like the vehicle around you. Are you in somebody's blind spot? I like to actually look at the tires. So I'm pretending these are lanes right here. So I'm in my own lane. Okay, we're gonna switch to this camera. Hopefully it's working. These lines are the lane. Okay, so if I see the car next to me, see right there, see how that car right there is kind of close to that line, and they might be coming into this next lane, I'm always looking at the tires. The tires will dictate what's happening, not the actual car body. You'll see it happen first with the tires. So what I do is when I'm riding, I'll look at the car tires next to me. The car, if it starts turning or slowing down or speeding up, I know what it's doing. So that is what I do. So give that a try when you're riding. Take a look at the tires next to people. You'll see what they're doing before they even hit the blinker. A lot of times people don't use blinkers. You also have to worry about when you're riding in like a residential neighborhood, keep an idea of if there's kids playing. Look at lawns every once in a while. So maybe a kid will throw a ball and they might run out. Or if somebody just parked and they might swing the door open. Gotta be watch out for that. And also make sure the person behind you, idiots, make sure the person behind you knows that if you're coming up to a red light, make sure they know. And you know how to make sure that they know is by making sure you know. So you're looking at their mirror. I know I get a lot of crap for this mirror, but I can see really good with this. Also head checks really quick, moving off to the side at a red light. So if they don't know that it's a red light and they blow through it, they're not hitting you. And if they don't understand and they're not aware of that red light and you're stopped, get ready to move. If you have to jump off your bike and sacrifice your bike so you don't get injured, do it. Whatever. Or you can accelerate quick and get out of there if you have to. A lot of things that beginners don't do is not assuming that you're invisible. You guys are. Motorcycles are invisible. We are the invisible plane from Wonder Woman, if anybody understands that. Maybe they only see it in the movie and not the old cartoons. But anyways, we are invisible. And it's not our fault. It's not their fault either. It's just the way it is. And car drivers are used to seeing other cars. They're trained to see that. We are a very small minority of the traffic here locally or wherever. See, look at this. You almost ran into them, lady. We are a very small minority, and people don't look for us. Pedestrians get hit all the time. Motorcycles get hit all the time. Other cars get hit all the time. And people are actually looking out for cars. So another car driver, another four-wheeled vehicle is looking for another four-wheeled vehicle. They're not looking for a two-wheeled vehicle like us. And they just don't see it. It doesn't register in their brain. And when they say, hey, I didn't see you, they honestly meant it. I don't think there's anybody out there that means to hit somebody and hurt somebody and kill somebody. So it's up to us to understand that and get out of people's way. If you get in an accident, you need to look at yourself. And I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. You need to look at yourself and see if there was an escape route that you missed, see if there's something that you could have practiced more that would have prevented that issue, and see if there was an issue in how you put yourself in that situation. The car driver, see, these people are like going through the parking lot. They are idiots. Car drivers are idiots, and they do a lot of dumb things. But we are smarter. We have the training where you're here on a YouTube channel to learn. Car drivers don't do that. Us as motorcyclists do that. So it's our job to make sure that we are safe and invisible. Another thing, taking turns too fast. This happens a lot. Now, most of the crashes and injuries and deaths and all those things happen in intersections, okay? So they usually happens in intersections, but one thing the second worst thing that happens is that on cornering, people have issues. So turning too fast or just not taking the turn right. And I talk about how to properly do a turn in one of my other videos, and you guys need to see it. It's honestly a good video. And it talks about body positioning, talks about center of gravity, talks about body lean and all that stuff. And it talks about some of the common issues that people have when it comes to cornering. Turning too fast is one of them. Slow turning is another one. Turning multiple times is another one. But people turn too fast and they just go right off the road. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's all about vision. It's all about looking. It's all about going where you want to go, moving your body and the bike in which way you want to go. And I talk in depth about that. So you guys need to check that out. If you want to do some parking lot practice and learn a little bit more about that, guys, I have a huge manual on my Patreon. Now, Patreon is a way to support my channel. It's a way to support me. I do this full time. I do this full time, and I want to make sure you guys are safe. I'm going to be a rider coach. I'm making these videos ahead of time because I'm probably in class right now to become an MSF rider coach so I can give you even more information, train you even better. But if you guys want to help me out and make it to where I could do this full time forever, being a patron is the one way to do it, and it's $1 a month. It's $1 a month. That's all it takes. And it really helps out, honestly. $1. $12 a year. But I'm going to go ahead and head in, and I hope you guys learned something. If I missed anything, please write in the comments, because when you guys write a comment, everyone else sees it. So if everybody sees a very helpful comment on mistakes and what you learned from them or whatever it is, other people will learn from you. Guys, we need to do that. That's what the community is for. All right, with that said, I hope you guys ride safe, be safe, and I'll see you later.